G'day mates. Of the 11 Makita tools that I own, the 5Ah 18V and 2.5Ah 40V batteries cost more than one of them, and the 5Ah 40V costs more than half of them. So at $112 delivered, what value do we get to save almost $70 over a genuine battery? Nah, look, we both know it's going to be rubbish, so let's get this over with. An AliExpress battery comes in some bubble wrap, and instead of a cover for the terminals, you get some tools to replace a broken display on your phone. Weird. It has a decent fuel gauge like the genuine unit, but unlike the genuine unit, there's a lack of air intake ports, not only at the front, but also on the side of the casing. You might also notice that the advertised 6Ah battery is the same size as the 2.5Ah Makita, nearly half the size of the genuine 5Ah unit, so I'm pretty excited to see the groundbreaking technology they've used to achieve this. Checking the weights, and the cheap battery comes in at only 644 grams or 22 ounces, compared to 685 grams or 24 ounces, and 1.3 kilos or 46 ounces for the genuine units. It does output 40 volts though, so that's a decent start, outputting essentially the same as the genuine Makita batteries. Now, performance is what we're here to see, so this time I've opted to use the pole saw on high speed to cut through a 180mm or 7-inch trunk, since we've already looked at the runtime using the line trimmer attachment in the 36 versus 40 volt comparison review. Check that out if you haven't already. Starting with the 5Ah genuine battery, and it managed 38 cuts in 10 minutes and 40 seconds on high speed, which is essentially the same runtime as using the line trimmer. Switching to the 2.5Ah battery, and it was quite a bit less at 14 cuts in 3 minutes and 30 seconds, well less than half of the 5Ah and a minute less runtime than what we measured with the line trimmer. I let the battery cool, recharged and measured it again just to double check, but 3.5 minutes was it. I think it is worth pointing out that 14 or 38 cuts through 7 inches of timber is actually a fair bit of cutting if you consider the size of the branches that you'd typically be using this for. 3 or 10 minutes doesn't sound very long, but consider your typical branch will be a quarter this size, you're really looking at 50 or 150 cuts when pruning a tree. It's also worth noting the drop in performance as the battery discharges, something that you wouldn't get with a 2-stroke. But anyway, time to try the cheap battery. It didn't blow up the genuine charger, so we're off to a good start. Firing it up and nothing happened, other than a flashing red error light on the power head. Now, the only other 40 volt tool I have is the 18/40 volt work light, which is rated for 2.2 to 4 hours on high when using the 2.5 or 5Ah battery. So part of me was hoping it wouldn't work since that's a lot of testing. Damn it. So like any good long-term test, I've taken it into the office to earn an hourly rate while we check it out. But strangely, it cut out after 5 minutes of runtime. I ran it again just to double check, and again, right on 5 minutes, it dropped out. Thinking maybe this is a terrible design decision by Makita, I tried a genuine battery, which ran continuously for 40 minutes without issue. So I contacted the seller, and even though their salutations were very flattering, lots of dears and a pro, there was no assistance, no warranty, and the general recommendation that it can't not be used for a long time without actually specifying what they considered to be a long time. Rose emoji goodbye. Now I'd pretty much finished this review, but just so happened to pick up the 40 volt dust blower over the weekend. Hit subscribe to check that out, I'd really appreciate it. And wouldn't you know it, this cheap battery just so happened to work fine with it. So this finally gave us an opportunity to test the runtime and give us a true comparison to the genuine units. Surprisingly, it ran for a full 15 minutes and 32 seconds, with the 2.5Ah battery edging it out at 17 minutes and the 5Ah double that at almost 36 minutes. It also gave me an opportunity to test the charging time, which was quite slow at 43 minutes and 40 seconds, compared to only 27 minutes for the 2.5Ah and 5 minutes faster than the 5Ah, which takes 49 minutes. So wrapping up, it was a complete waste of money until I bought the dust blower, and it'll be living on that tool for the foreseeable future. But considering I've had my 1.3Ah batteries for more than a decade, I think the genuine 2.5Ah battery is worth the extra $70, considering it will actually work on every tool, runs slightly longer, and charges 16 minutes faster. Cheers for watching, and if you've grabbed an aftermarket battery yourself, let us know in the comments if you found it to be any good, and I'll catch you in the next one. What's that?
Come and get me.
Is it pretty good?